Today is Friday, March 27th, and this is the recording for our read aloud Out of My Mind. Remember from yesterday, Penny, Melody's little sister, she's starting to grow up, and Melody is giving us a little bit of an insight what it's like to have a baby sister, that her parents are constantly filming and every little thing that she does, and that we learn Melody's nickname from Penny is Dee Dee. By the time she was 1 year old, Penny could walk. She wobbled all over the house on her fat little legs. She fell a lot, dropping down on her butt and laughing every time she did. Then she'd get back up and try it again. That was something I'd never get to try. With 2 kids in the house, our family routines changed. It took twice as long to get everybody ready every morning. Mom made sure Penny was dressed in pretty little outfits every day, even though she was just going next door to Mrs. V's house. My clothes were okay, but I was noticing that lately they were more useful than cute. Mom seemed to be choosing them by how easy they'd be to get on me. It was kind of a bummer, but I knew I was getting heavier and heavier to lift, and so changing me was harder. I probably should mention that feeding me is a real process. I can't chew very well, so I mostly get soft foods like scrambled eggs or oatmeal or applesauce. Since I can't hold a fork or spoon, I try, but I keep dropping them. Someone has to place the food into my mouth, 1 spoonful at a time. It's slow. Spoon, slurp, swallow. Spoon, slurp, swallow. Lots of food falls on the floor. Butterscotch likes that. She's like a canine vacuum cleaner. Drinking stuff is hard for me too. I can't hold a glass and I can't sip from a straw, so somebody has to very carefully hold a cup to my lips and tip a little bit of liquid into my mouth so I can swallow. Too much and I choke and cough, and we have to start the process all over again. It takes a long time to get a meal in me. I hate the whole process, obviously. And some mornings were really stressful. Chuck, can you bring me Melody's pink t-shirt from the clean clothes basket? She spilled juice all over her shirt, Mom yelled up the stairs. Didn't you put a bib on her, Diane? Dad yelled back. You know she makes a mess. Why don't you wait and dress her after she eats? So you want me to feed her naked? Just bring the shirt, Mom snapped. And a diaper for Penny. She's got a stinker. She's 2. Isn't she old enough to be potty trained? Dad asked, coming downstairs with a blue t-shirt I had outgrown in one hand and a diaper in the other. Oh, yeah, right. I'll get to potty training tonight on the 25th hour of my day. Dad picked Penny up. Uh-oh, that's a bad one, he said, his nose scrunched up. Did you give her sweet potatoes again last night? I thought we stopped giving her those because they always give her the runs. Well, if you had gone to the grocery store like I asked, I could have given her something different. And that shirt is blue, not pink, and it's too small for Melody. Mom stormed out of the kitchen and up the stairs. Sorry, girls, Dad said to us. He whistled softly while he cleaned Penny up, threatening to call the hazmat team. That was pretty funny. Then he finished feeding me breakfast, not caring that my oatmeal was getting all over the juice-stained shirt. Why not? May as well make a real mess and make it worth all the stress, he said with a laugh. I smiled at him and smeared oatmeal on my tray. Mom came back down with fresh makeup and a freshly painted-on smile, her hair done, and with my pink shirt. She and Dad hugged in the kitchen, both took a deep breath, and we actually made it out of the house on time. We had lots of days like that. Chapter 10. Penny wakes every morning asking for her doodle, a soft brown stuffed animal that might be a monkey or maybe a squirrel. It's so beat up, nobody knows for sure what it really is. She drags it everywhere, though. Doodle, she cries if it's been caught in her blankets. Doodle, she cries if it's right next to her. Of course, it sounds more like doo-doo when she says it, and that makes Dad crack up. I smile when I hear footsteps outside my door. Big ones and little tiny ones. My mom and Penny. And Doodle, of course. Sometimes my legs and arms are stiff from being in the same position all night, and sometimes my toes tingle. My bedroom door opens. Dad never gets around to fixing that squeak. Mom traces a finger along my cheek. Maybe she's checking to see if I'm still breathing. I am. I open my eyes. I wish I could say, "Good morning," but I just grin instead. She pulls me up and hugs me, rarely stopping to sit in the rocking chair anymore, and rushes me to the bathroom because I usually have to go really bad first thing in the morning. Penny trails behind us, wearing a huge red and white hat like the one in The Cat in the Hat. The girl has a major hat obsession, and always with her doodle. Butterscotch is never far from her. She lets Penny put hats on her, and somehow endures Penny's hugs, which can sometimes feel more like chokeholds. I've gotten a few. She barks to alert Mom or Dad if Penny gets too close to an electric plug or the front door. Our bathroom is painted ocean blue and is large enough for Penny, Butterscotch, me, and Mom, and my wheelchair, without feeling crowded. That's a good thing because we spend lots of time in there. Penny and I make pretty big messes, but at least I don't have to wear diapers. It's bad enough that someone has to put me on the toilet, but diapers? Yuck. Even though the doctor said it would be impossible, by the time I was 3, Mom had me potty trained like any other kid my age. I hated sitting in dirty diapers, and she hated changing them, so I figured out a way to let her know I had to go, and she'd hustle me to the toilet. Mom and I can sometimes talk without words. I point to the ceiling, and she somehow just knows whether I'm talking about the ceiling fan, the moon, or the dark spot where the rain leaked through during the last thunderstorm. She can tell if I'm sad, and she can sense when I need a hug. She rubs my back and makes me relax when I'm tense and upset. She tells dirty jokes sometimes when Dad isn't listening, and we both crack up. One morning, as she was getting me dressed for school, I pointed to her stomach, then covered my eyes as if the sight were too much to look at. It was shortly after Penny had been born, and she still had a good-sized baby bulge. "You calling me fat?" she asked, actually insulted. I laughed a little and said, "Ugh," which is the closest thing I've got to a yes. "Take it back," she said, tickling the bottoms of my feet. Instead, I held my arms out like it was making a big circle and laughed out loud. Huge, enormous, like an elephant. I could tell she knew what I was thinking. We both rolled with laughter, and then she hugged me tight. I wish I could tell her I loved her. Mom knows when I'm hungry or thirsty, or whether I need a glass of milk or just some water. She can tell if I'm really sick or simply faking it, because sometimes I do pretend I don't feel good just so I can stay home. She can tell what my temperature is just by feeling my forehead. She only uses the thermometer to prove she's right. I can tell stuff about what she is thinking too. By the end of the day, after she's been at the hospital all day, then fixed dinner, then bathed Penny and me, and put me in bed, I can tell she's kind of reached her max. She breathes hard. Her forehead is sweating. I sometimes reach out and touch her hand with mine. I can feel her calm down, and she'll trace her fingers along my cheek, just like she does in the morning, and give me a kiss goodnight. Every Saturday morning after I've been fed, Mom reads the newspaper while she has her coffee, and Penny smashes bananas on her high chair tray. Butterscotch doesn't like fruit, but she stays close by just in case somebody drops a piece of bacon. Mom's off on the weekends, so she relaxes. She sometimes reads articles to me or tells me about the latest hurricane or uprising or explosion in the world. "More fighting in the Middle East," she says. "I've seen it on TV, bombs and tears and faces of fear." "Huh, there's a new Superman movie coming out soon," she reads as she shakes the newspaper flat. "Maybe we can go catch a matinee." I love superheroes. I guess Superman is my favorite because he can fly. How great would that be? Mom reads me the comic pages also. I like Garfield. "Garfield is cheating on his diet again," Mom says. "He ate John's lasagna and Odie's meatballs." I laugh and point at Mom's hips. "You calling me fat again, Miss Dee Dee, just because I finished off your spaghetti last night?" I grin. "You'll be sorry when I start feeding everybody lettuce for lunch." We both laugh. Mom's not even close to being fat, but I still like to tease her. For my 10th birthday, I got a whole book of Garfield cartoons. Now that's what's up. I made Dad read it to me over and over. Garfield is a cat who has a lot to say, but all his words are written in little circles above his head. He can't really talk, of course. He's a cat. Duh.